Another episode of the podcast. It's me, Michael, or HigherUp Wellness. I'm your host. This is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be like a little cozy, kick your feet up Sunday chat. I'm still freshly douched out in the clothes I wore to the gym, but that's all right. It's just us hanging out here. It's a safe space. I can look like a tool if I want to. Anyway, today is just more about yapping. It's about having a good time and just chatting through some of my internal dialogues and the things that I have written on this page. I don't have any like frameworks or bullet points. I just have three things I wrote down that I'm going to talk through, and we're just going to hang out, and you're going to get to know me a little bit better, maybe, rather than just focus on delivering value and insights. Sorry, RIP to the headphone users there. Rather than just focusing on value and insights, just talk about some things that are happening in my life and maybe my outlooks on a few things in hopes that it's valuable to you. So, with that being said, I apologize in advance if I sound a little bit nasally, if I cough into the microphone. I am overcoming a sickness, and it's all just focused right here in the back of my nose, head area, and it's just been rough to get through, but I digress. So, as some of you may know, I'm big on training for things, and I also apologize if you can hear this stupid office chair squeaking an incessant amount. Because it is, and I don't know if the mic's picking it up. I pray it's not. But anyway, as some of you may know, I'm a big fan of setting goals, and I love setting one really scary, audacious, physically challenging goal every year. One thing that I'm not sure that I can do, so naturally I have to go out and try to do it. And this year, it was to be a part of my good friend Colin Beecham's Guinness World Record attempt to break the 100-person 1 mile relay time. Right now, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of a little over 9 hours. How that works is 100 people all run 1 mile, obviously, and we pass a baton like a track meet. So at first, this was just an idea that Colin put on, and I really can't give Colin enough kudos. I wish Colin was a content creator because he'd probably be 10 times as famous as me. He's really just an incredible human being. His ability to network and connect with people is impressive. And the fact that he just birthed this idea of, hey, let's break a world record this year. And now it's real. I mean, it was an idea, and it's the kind of thing that most people would talk about, and nothing ever comes of it. It's something they talk about, but then they realize how much work it is, how much money, how much time, and it just never gets done. And he fucking did it. Kudos. I mean, that's one thing about that dude, and this is the type of people you need to have in your life, is if he says he's going to be there, do something, show up, he's going to. You can count on him. He's just rock solid. And he's built out this world record attempt. And so far, we've got, I believe, 90-ish people. We have 10 spots left. If you're fast and you're willing to travel, if you're not in the Atlanta area, and you can run like a 520 mile or faster, sign up, apply. We'd love to have you. If you want to be a legitimate Guinness World Record holder, because I think we're going to smash this fucking world record, and I'm really excited. But that was the thing I signed up for. And until then, my fastest mile ever was a 6:11. And I had to run a 5:35-ish at least just to qualify. Really, come race day, I need to run a 5:20. And is that endurance, long event? No, but it scares me because it's a different type of pain. It's a different type of suffering. The burn and the pain you feel in that type of exertion, that energy pathway, some would argue it's worse, even though it's not running for 6 hours in an ultra. The pain you feel for 5, 6, 7 minutes when you're giving it your all on a mile is brutal. And I hate it. I don't love running. I like it. It's okay. But I hate speed training. I hate running fast. I hate the burn. I hate that wet, salivated feeling you get in your mouth when you're about to throw up because you know you're really pushing the envelope. And so I thought, well, I hate this. And I'm 30 seconds off of that mile time. So I have to try. And I'm going to do it. I told myself that at the beginning. Delusionally confident, assuming you stack some proof. You have to believe in yourself or else no one will. So for the last 10 weeks, I've been training. And I'm very stoked to say a week before the deadline of submission. That's another thing. You have to have your mile time submitted by June 14th. So with proof of the mile time. I'm proud to say that in the midst of a random speed workout on Saturday, I went into that speed workout literally worried I wasn't going to qualify for the mile time. This is such a comfortable mic position. I've got the little peg on my chest just resting there. This is nice. I was worried I wasn't going to make it. I was scared. I saw all the people submitting times. You've got some savages in there, 4:30s, 4:15s, 4:03. What? And I'm like, here I am, this big meathead just trying to run a 5:40, God willing. And in the middle of the workout yesterday, I felt good. I started running. I was doing mile repeats. So I did a 2 mile warm up and then mile repeats on a track at a fast pace. And I'm quarter mile into the second repeat. So I'm 4 miles into the run. And I look down at my watch and it says 5:33. And I'm like, oh shit, I've never even touched this. I'm kind of in flow right now. Like my legs feel good. And I just clock out. Power by Kanye West is ripping in my ears because I looked up 5 Minute Mile music and that's what came up on the playlist. And before I knew it, I crossed a mile threshold at a 5:33.2. And I started losing my shit. I'm so happy. I'm very stoked for myself right now. I'm proud. I can't lie. And I looked up after screaming and saying like, fuck yeah, losing my mind on the track by myself. The gate to the school that I was running at was locked. I had to hop it. I look over and a high school football coach is just there like looking at me like, what the fuck is this maniac doing? So that was an interesting moment. But regardless, we're locked in. I'm officially have made the cut to be a part of a world record attempt. And I'm very proud to say that, even though we haven't done it yet. So the goal for the next 4 to 6 weeks for me now is to take this mile time and sharpen it, to continue to get faster. I would like to run with more conditioning and the level of, boy, I'm big chillin', the level of effort on race day and the adrenaline of race day and the environment. I'm hoping to run a 5:15, 5:20, and I'm going to be in one of the first groups of runners because I'm going to help Colin with the logistics of the race. So if you're interested, please sign up. We'd love to have you. We'd love to meet you guys. It'd be freaking awesome. And so my big Musogi, I've done it. And what do you know? The reason I'm sharing this with you, other than to brag a little bit, because that's fucking awesome, is I talk about the Musogi a lot. I learned this from Jesse Itzler. If you haven't heard me talk about this yet, you probably have. So I'm not going to say why haven't you. But regardless, a Musogi is a Japanese principle where you take on something so big and challenging over the course of a year that it changes you fundamentally in, is my camera rolling? Oh, thank God. That it changes you fundamentally in some way. And making the Musogis physical are great. They can be anything, but they should be physical. And for me, it was a marathon in 2022, an ultra in 2023, and then this world record mile because I've never even touched. I was 40 seconds off of the mile time I ran yesterday. And if you don't run a lot, 40 seconds is an ass load of time. It's a lot to shave off. It's like shaving, I don't know, probably 25 minutes off a marathon. That's totally arbitrary and baseless. But regardless, it's hard. And I've done it. And in that, I continue to learn the lesson that I always learned in a Musogi, which is I built a little bit more confidence in myself that whatever I decide to take on next in my life, I can do it because I have proof to lean on that I can do hard things, that I can do things that originally once scared me. And it's why I encourage all of you to set goals that maybe you're a little bit crazy, set goals that you might be delusional for thinking you can achieve, and then go fucking do that shit. Because when you do that, you stack that undeniable proof that you are who you say you are, and it will change you fundamentally. It will benefit every facet of your life. Every modicum of your life will get better as a result of doing hard things. And if you haven't picked a Musogi, we're halfway through the year. I implore you to pick a deadline somewhere in the next 60 to 90 days, or 120 days rather. End of the year is what I meant to say. Geez. And set a goal. Maybe it's financial. Maybe it's run your first 5K, 10K, half marathon, marathon, whatever. Maybe it's something in your personal life. Go to therapy, grow a lot, whatever. Pick something, some sort of work you've been avoiding or are scared to do, and go do it. Because what you will learn about yourself on that journey is invaluable. There is no amount of money or time or anything you can trade or give that's experience of enduring a challenge for a prolonged period of time, of setting a goal and achieving it. There is nothing that can replace that feeling. There is nothing that can create that value for you except that thing. The magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Remember that. So go do the work. So now that work is officially locked in, it's not done. I'm going to continue to train and try to get faster. I have to figure out what's next. I have to figure out what in my life is next. And will it be a fitness thing? I don't know. I mean, I have a lot going on in my personal life right now. I have things I'm looking to shift and pivot. This podcast is brought to you by Mountain Valley. Not really, but it's great water. Overpriced as shit. I've just been refilling the bottle because the bottle is awesome. Anyway, my brain just went so far to the left. I've probably thought 10 thoughts since I said that. That's how my brain operates. It's a curse sometimes. Blessing sometimes, but a curse most of the time. Anyway, it's time to pick something that I know is going to freak me out, and I don't know what that's going to be. I mean, maybe that's something around my life situation and my living situation, moving somewhere scary, starting over. That's been on my mind a lot lately. But for now, the goals with training and moving forward are continuing to get faster, continuing to surround myself with people that I want to be like, want to be more around more, want to build better relationships with. And I'm doing that through Run Club and just through fostering community in various places. My community, the Higher Up Lifestyle. If you're interested, the link is in my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio, or you can DM me. It's super cool, positive, motivating place with over 200 people in it. And being in that community has changed me in a lot of ways. So I don't know what's next, but for now, I'm obviously going to continue to train, continue to try to get strong, be strong fast, run fast, lift far, or what? Wait, run far, lift fast? No. Run heavy, lift far? No. Run far, lift heavy? Is that what Nick Bear says? Jesus. Anyway, I did my best there. Let me just hold the kickstand. So we'll figure out what's next, but I think it's probably going to have something to do with my life situation. So my lease just ended where I was living in a place called Roswell, Georgia, and I didn't know where I wanted to live next. And moving was on my mind, something I've thought about. I've been in Georgia my whole life, and I'm just craving a change of scenery. So I didn't want to tie myself to a lease for another 12 months, move back to Atlanta, back to the city, and deal with that bullshit because I did that for a couple of years. The only places I would probably move here in Atlanta would be Buckhead or down by the Beltline. If you don't live in Atlanta, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Just ignore me. Fast forward 1.25 speed. And so Austin is on the radar. Tampa is on the radar. Nashville just popped on the radar. That could be cool. I have a friend there, Hunter McVeigh, who's a content creator who was gassing it up. I need to go somewhere with a good fitness scene, an ability to foster and cultivate community, run clubs, good gyms, and somewhere that's cool, like walkable, things to do, young people. I just really want to broaden my human experience. And I know I'm going to do that by putting myself outside of my comfort zone, just like I do physically. I know I'm going to learn a lot. I know I'm going to meet a lot of people. And I know I'm going to grow and change in incredible ways if I can do that. And that's probably one of the scarier things in my life right now is moving, leaving my family. I have older parents who I love more than, my next breath. And I don't want to move away from them because our time is limited. And I know that. And I'm just trying to figure out what's next. So right now I'm living with the rents back like I did in the old days growing up, and it's been nice. Honestly, it has to have the opportunity to reconnect with them and just talk to them. And I've been so busy with my life and building a business that I didn't come and visit as much as I should, even though I was only like 45 minutes to an hour away. And if you're one of those people, visit. I heard Burt Kreischer say once that he had his perspective shifted forever when his parents were getting older. And he said, let's say my dad has 10 years left to live. That means I have 10 more Christmases with my dad. And that's so scary. And so he makes the most of time with his family. And that's how I'm starting to view time with my parents. Is how many Christmases do I have? How many Mother's Days and Father's Days? All right, I can't get into this. I'm going to get emotional. You get the point. Spend time with the people you love before you can. You'll regret it. And so it's been nice to just rebuild the relationship with them. And not that it was broken, just to get closer with them again. And they're liking having me back, obviously, but all my shit from the move out is in their garage. So they're probably not loving that piece because their house was absolutely pristine before I moved back in. And so for me, it's looking like I'm gonna jet set a little bit. My good friend Will was nice enough to give me his Delta Companion Pass, and I'm going to be able to fly around the country for free for the rest of the summer. And I'll go visit some friends in San Diego, visit some friends in Tampa, go to Austin, meet some people. I know some content creators out there. That's probably my number one spot that I want to move right now is to Tampa. No, what? Austin? Because there's a lot of people doing what I do out there, and I know that. And I think that there's a lot of people I can meet that would skyrocket my career forward. But I don't know. I haven't been. I'm going to try it out. I'm probably going to love it. I grew up in the South, so I definitely don't want to leave Southern vibes. I know Austin's obviously a little bit different, but that's okay. I'm open to new experiences and opportunities. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jet set and figure out what this next chapter of my life looks like. I turned 27 in 2 months. Jesus. Graduated college 10 years ago. I turned 27 in 2 months, and I'm not one of those people that believes, holy shit, I'm already 27. I more so believe that, holy shit, I'm only 27. I have so much life left to experience and so much left to do. And that's exactly what the fuck I'm going to do. And I'm excited for what comes next with that, whatever it looks like. It's scary, it's daunting, but I'm going to keep stepping on the stone in front of me. And I know as I step on each stone, the next stone will reveal itself in the path. So if you have that degree of uncertainty, if you're not sure where you want to go with your life and you're not taking action, that is the missing magic pill. I've talked about this so many times. Action is the magic pill you seek. If it's in fitness, action creates confidence. Action and confidence create momentum, and action, confidence, and momentum over time create discipline. And that's what everybody is seeking. That's the magic pill, and that's the formula to get the magic pill. The problem is the formula isn't in a pill or powder, literally. It's something you have to do for an extraordinary period of time, and that sucks for a while. And that's why most people aren't willing to do it. I don't remember where I was going with that. I don't even remember what I was saying before. Taking action. Geez. Taking action is the missing piece. And for me, I'm just going to take action. When opportunities come my way, I'm going to say yes to them. I'm not going to turn away things that scare me or I would originally shy away from for no good reason. And I'm excited for what that will reveal. So far, I've been doing that for a couple of months, and it's brought me great new friends, great new experiences, networking opportunities. And I can't imagine another life. There was a time when I didn't used to do that. I didn't used to say yes to much. And you have to be careful with that. You need to be a steward of your time, not say yes to every opportunity business wise that comes my way or whatever, but meeting people, going out, getting out in groups. Like I'm saying yes to more of that. Quick water break. And I encourage you, if you have that degree of uncertainty, now we're bringing it back around. Now I remember what I was talking about. If you have that uncertainty of, I don't know what to do next, and you're not trying anything, you have nobody to blame but yourself. Okay. So start trying shit. Even if you don't know what direction to try, just take a direction. Because at least that way you'll go towards something and you'll decide either this is for me, time to keep on the straight and narrow, or it's time to pivot and start a new path. That is the key. Just start trying shit. You're stuck in work, start trying shit, interviewing, taking on new positions, asking for promotions. You're stuck in fitness, try new shit, move more, change up your diet, sleep better. You're stuck in friendships or relationships, you're probably a couple of hard conversations away from the life you want. That's another absolute banger of a quote that Alex Hormozy has. Most people are a handful of really difficult conversations from the life they've always wanted. Hard conversations, easy life, easy conversations, hard life. It's a difficult choice to make, and it's easier said than done. But having hard conversations has made my life better. With myself, loved ones, doesn't matter. Sometimes the hard conversation you need to have is with the motherfucker in the mirror. And that's all right. That's why most people are fat and depressed and anxious, is they're not willing to have those hard conversations with themselves, because that requires a degree of accountability that is terrifying to some people. And it's only terrifying because of your perception, not necessarily because it's terrible in reality. You know, that there's a saying that fear is an ocean that's a mile wide and an inch deep. And I heard that for the first time from Alex Hormozy when I was thinking about quitting my job. That video popped up on my algorithm, but it applies to everything. A hard conversation with yourself, your spouse, your life, quitting your job. Once I realized in my unique example of quitting my job, once I realized that I wasn't going to die, like once I pulled the trigger and I engaged in the conversation, and the boss and I were fine, it was cordial, he was supportive. Once you do things like that and you realize, oh, I'm not going to die, what am I really scared of? You understand the saying that fear is an ocean that's a mile wide and an inch deep. And once you step out into it, you realize you're going to be fine. So if fear is the thing holding you back from that lack of change or keeping you in that state of complacency, understand that exactly what you want is on the other side of that. And you're not going to drown when you step. There is no deep end. You just keep treading at ankle deep water. And learning that lesson was powerful. So fear is an ocean that is a mile wide and an inch deep. It's a very powerful quote. I didn't mean to get on here and start sharing euphemisms and quotes with you guys, but it's how my mind operates. When I shift into certain mental states, I shift out of, let me rephrase that. When I shift into negative mental states, I often shift out of those negative mental states with aphorisms and quotes, and it works really well for me. So when I get down on myself in the business or in my training and I think this is so hard, why am I even doing this, why am I bothering, I lean on that aphorism. This is what hard feels like, and that's okay. And that brings me a lot of peace, because of course it's hard, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do things because they're hard. Training to failure in the gym is hard, but you get bigger, you look better, you feel better as a result. So it's worth doing. So sometimes you just have to tell yourself, this is hard. And so what? So I keep going. If it were easy, everybody would have the thing that I'm chasing, that I'm striving for. Everybody would be able to make a living doing what they love. Everybody would have a crazy physique. Everybody would have the things they want, the relationships they want, but they don't. And it's because they are not able to accept that this is what hard feels like. And it's why most people can't do it, but you can. So that's what I'm leaning on. And when I do that, I believe in using aphorisms and quotes and self-talk as well as the physical body to, when you need to change states, literally change states, physically speaking. So I went into the gym today feeling pretty low energy. I'd had a few drinks last night, went out to a Braves game with the run club and was up too late and was just feeling like there was a film, like someone took saran wrap and wrapped my brain in it. I just felt like I couldn't get there. So I went to the gym, I caught a pump, didn't do anything crazy, went to failure for a couple of different movements, and then sat in the sauna for 25 minutes. And what do you know? Do I feel fantastic? No, but I'm going to sleep well tonight. I feel better. So sometimes changing your state, if self-talk and all the mental things don't work, sometimes changing your state is about literally changing your physiological state. It's why if you know Tony Robbins, and if you don't, then it's time to crawl out from whatever rock you're listening to this podcast from under. But Tony Robbins is one of the most successful motivational speakers of all time, and I really love his stuff. I love him a lot. And he talks about, like, at his conferences, he makes people get up and jump around and shout. And it's not because he's trying to be some guru. He literally says, I'm not your guru. He's trying to change their physiology. He's trying to elevate their dopamine. He's elevating their epinephrine, getting their adrenaline up. And sometimes that's all it takes. It's why in so many countries that exercise is prescribed as a level 1 intervention for anxiety and depression, because you can literally change your mental state through taking physical action and moving your physical body through strenuous bouts of effort. Get the feel-good neurotransmitters flowing, and you can suppress those imbalances or those levels of the neurotransmitters that you don't need to be feeling at that given time. They all play a role. Cortisol is good. Cortisol all day, not good. Dopamine is good. Dopamine all day, maybe not so good. So they all have a role and a time, and if you need to change your state, then literally change your state. So I don't know how I just got on that. I have binge eating and disordered eating written right here for something I wanted to talk about, and I don't even know how I'm going to chronologically tie that in to the conversation. So I'm just going to awkwardly change subjects and start talking about it right now. So I wrote that because as we get closer to summer, I'm noticing an uptick, and obviously people wanting to get leaner, people reaching out for coaching, DMing me about it. But I'm also noticing an uptick in people asking me about struggling with binge eating and constantly spinning their wheels and not making progress because they're going out and they're cheating on their diets and they're binging on their diets. And today I uploaded a video where I had some post-alcohol malaise, we'll call it that, as Huberman says. And I got an itch. And I worked out, had some water, was crushing my step goal, still need to get a few more steps in. And on the way home, I just impulsively went, oh, McDonald's, that sounds good. And I pulled in, I got a fish sandwich, a quarter pounder with cheese, and fries, double fillet of fish. And if you follow me on Instagram, then you know I posted a story that I eat that. And I have caused civil unrest in my DMs. Insane. Either I'm supporting war crimes, which I don't know anything about, like literally saying that they support Israel or Palestine. I'm just not educated. I run a fitness account. Okay. I don't know what McDonald's is doing with their money. I have no idea. I just wanted a fucking fish sandwich. Or people just saying that it's disgusting. All of those people had never tried it. Just saying. Moving on. Point is, there was a time in my life when I would have driven by that and said, I can't have that. And what that would have ultimately led to me doing is going back eventually and eating way too much of it and turning that meal into a day of fucking up. And I found the only thing that worked for me to stop binging was, one, I stopped trying to be shredded all year because that was just horrible for my health. But the other thing was being very intentional with my word choice. And I know I've talked about this on past podcasts, so I apologize if I'm beating a dead horse, but it's important. And I don't believe enough people are talking about disordered eating and binge eating in this way, as simple as it is sometimes about your perspective, and neurons that fire together wire together. And if you continually call out certain things and certain patterns and behavior, you will solidify that pathway in your brain and you will make it real. Because like Tony Robbins also says, truths are self-evident, and whether it's actually true or not, if you believe it is true in your reality. And in my reality, I don't believe that I can binge eat. I don't believe that cheating on my diet is possible. These are all word choices that I'm very careful with. I don't have a relationship with food. I have a perspective on food. I have relationships with people. I don't have relationships with inanimate fucking objects. And I'm a sentient being, aware of my own mortality. And as far as we know, the only ones on the earth that are sentient, maybe dolphins. Point is, why am I letting inanimate objects like a pint of ice cream or a fish sandwich dictate my emotional state? No. My point is, stop calling it a relationship with food. When you go off track with your diet, call it nothing. Call no attention to it, because words give things power and meaning. And when you give things power and meaning, you give them the power to dictate your emotional state. So stop calling it a relationship with food. When you cheat or binge, no, you didn't. Not in your reality, because your truths are self-evident. So start talking to yourself in a very different way when it comes to food, and be very careful about what you call attention to in your diet. And you may find, like I did, that your moral compass for food starts to just naturally move towards whole natural foods, because I started eating based on how I felt physically after consuming something than how I felt emotionally. And there have been times like today, I had that McDonald's, I feel fine. I don't feel bad. I went for a post-meal walk, I had some water, I had some digestive enzymes. I feel fine, and I'm going to be all right. So if that's something that you're struggling with right now, look to the self-talk. Okay, look to the self-talk and be very careful about the way you speak to yourself about your eating habits. It's like the old adage, would you talk to your best friend the way that you talk to yourself? And if the answer is no in any fucking situation, then it's time to reconsider. And if it's time to reconsider, then try what I'm talking about. Try to have a better relationship, damn it, better perspective on your food. So I ate that, and it didn't turn into a cheat day. It was the one meal, and I came home and I went for a walk, and I've just been chilling since. I'm not that hungry, and I'm probably just going to have some chicken and green beans for dinner, something light, because I think I had 1,800 calories, and I'm going to move on with my life. I'm not going to feel any type of way about it. And that is the true sustainability. It's not about cutting that shit out of your life forever. It's about being able to have it and eat to satisfaction and not blow it up into a day or a week. And I think a lot of it is just around the word choice and the emotional guilt that people put themselves through. It's completely unnecessary. And I'm hoping it's not easier said than done. I do believe that if you just start saying, literally gaslighting yourself into saying, I don't believe I can binge eat. I don't believe I can cheat on my diet. I referenced this earlier in a previous podcast, a Q&A. I know he's hated, but I saw a short clip of Andrew Tate saying, I don't believe in depression, and people hate me for that. And here's what I mean. Obviously, and these are just quotes from him. Obviously, I'm not a fool. I know depression exists. I believe I can feel depressed. He says, like, when I was in that Romanian prison for 6 months, I felt depressed, but I don't believe I can exist in a perpetual state of depression. And whether that's true or not from the medical community or studies or research, I don't fucking care, because I curate my own reality. And in my reality, depression's not real. And I thought, that's insane. That's a little bit delusional. But that's the point. A little bit of delusion, if it makes your reality better, your health better, your life better, it's good. Be fucking delusional. Curate your own reality. Be crazy, whatever. This perspective on food has made my life infinitely better. And so I'm going to keep doing it. When people say I binged on my diet or I cheated and they comment on my videos and say that, I'm going to say, no, you didn't, because it's not real. It's fake. It's Matthew McConaughey in Wolf of Wall Street. It's fucking Fugazi. It's not real. It doesn't exist. So word choice. Be careful with your word choice. That's all I have on the list. I've honestly really enjoyed talking to you guys like this. Drop a comment and let me know what you think of this format of episode. It's very informal. It's very not buttoned up, and I feel very vulnerable in a wife beater. Can we call them that still? Beater? Echovision beaters. Best gym shirt in the world. Code HU. But in reality, that's all I had. Let me know what you thought of this episode. It was pretty informal, and I really enjoyed it. I hope to do more, assuming you liked it. But if you didn't like it, please tell me, and I'll stop. I'll go back to my buttoned up, mic on the stand approach with all my shit written down. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the video. If you're listening on Spotify, please rate the show, whatever you feel it deserves. It really does help me out, and it would mean a lot to me. So as always, let's drop a step check. Drop your step check in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. It's 7:05 p.m., and I have 8,961 steps. So I'm going to go crush a 20-minute walk now, eat dinner with my lovely, beautiful parents, and then crush another 20 to 30-minute post-meal walk. Never skip your post-meal walks. Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful week. And I do not take the opportunity that I have to speak to you all for granted. I don't take it lightly. I'm humbled. I am grateful. And I'm excited every day to have this opportunity to be just a small part of each and every one of your journeys. Talk to you soon.